Oh, I just realised, this is all really squashed up. Oh, okay. That's too big. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. There we are. So, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, got a bit of a stream going on. Just casually, really. Just casually have a stream and all that. But yep, we are live. It is for the first game of round 17. A very short round, obviously, because of Origin on Wednesday. But yeah, this game's gonna be pretty interesting. The Cronulla Sharks up against the Melbourne Storm. I mean, out of all the sort of like different scenarios that have occurred, the Sharks have actually got a considerate amount of players out because COVID has been a bit rummaging throughout the Cronulla team. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how everything can go with that. Melbourne also have a few players out, obviously due to Origin, so you've just got a whole lot of factors going to this game, which makes this game a lot more even if though it's even now. Of course, both teams being top four. The weather conditions is also going to make this game very much even because the weather in pretty much pretty much all of New South Wales has been absolutely horrible. And it only has just relatively stopped, so this game very much is as even as you could possibly get with a match like this. So, speaking about all the changed lineups, we're going to go straight into the team list now for tonight's match. So we'll start off with the Cronulla Sharks. William Kennedy at fullback with Sione Katoa and Renato Mulatalo on the wings, with Ramian and Tracy in the centres. Matt Moylan is 5'8", with Braden Trindle set to be the halfback for the Sharks tonight. You got Royce Hunt and Andrew Fafita on the front as the props, with Blake Brayley at hooker. You got Brenton Nakor and Wade Graham as the second row, with Delphinucan at lock. Interchange consists of Aiden Tolman, Cameron McInnes, Teague Walton, and Braden Hamlin-Uele. And the reserve tonight is Jesse Colquhoun. And now for the Melbourne Storm, we've got Ryan Pappenhausen at fullback, Dean Iramia and Grant Anderson on the wings, with Marion Seve and Justin Olam in the centres. Nick Meaney will be starting at 5'8", with Jerome Hughes at halfback. We've got Jesse Bromwich, Nelson Asova-Solomona in the prop roles, with Brandon Smith at hooker. Got Chris Lewis and Kenny Bromwich in the second row, with Josh King at lock. Interchange consists of Tyron Wishart, Tui Kamika, Alec McDonald, and Jordan Grant. And the injury reserve tonight is Jaden Nikorima. Sub NRL, sub CJ Moxley. So, yeah, this game's going to be really interesting, to say the very least. This will be a good game, man. Looking forward to it. I honestly hope it does. Obviously, this, with all of the conditions around them, with players being out for either Origin or COVID, and the weather, because I'd probably still think it's pretty much raining down in Sydney. It's just, I don't know. It's like this game could really go either way, personally wise. So that's why, in terms of my tips, in terms of tips, I have tipped Melbourne to win. But I mean, there is a lot of ample opportunity for the Sharks to definitely come up in this. So in terms of looking at the poll at the moment, 6 people have voted, and again, it's split down the middle. Cronulla Sharks, Melbourne Storm, 3 votes each. Can I watch live stream? Junior, unfortunately, I can't show the game on the screen because of copyright. Unfortunately, I don't know if Hectic Fred is streaming on Twitch. Maybe he does. He's able to show it on Twitch, so I think probably there would be the best bet to go and watch that game. But yeah, so we've got about 15 minutes till the game does kick off. I mean, this game's gonna. It's really weird to look into in all of these matches. Of course, Braden Trindle starting at halfback for the Sharks. It's going to be very interesting to see, obviously, because Nico Hines is out. I believe due to COVID is the main reason. Do you remember me from your last game? Yes, I do, NRL. I very much do remember you from from the last match. Aiden told you got Andrew Fafita starting. Usually he would, obviously with him being the number 17, he would obviously be on the bench, but of course he is starting, which I think is his first start for a while. I think it's the first start potentially since he had his very scary injury last season. But in terms of the Melbourne Storm, I mean, it's pretty much not many changes in terms of added recency. I know Nick Meaney starting at 5'8" will be interesting. Was I annoying? No, mate, you're fine. You're fine. Obviously, Dale Finucane playing against his old club. I mean, they've already played against each other because of they played earlier in the season down in Melbourne. So, got Jesse Corcoon. Oh no, as my brother, it's 7:50 kickoff tonight, right? Yep, that is when kickoff is on. It's honestly, who knows what will happen tonight? I mean, this match is very much of high importance for both teams. I mean, the Sharks, though they're being in the top 4, they haven't really been like a convincing top 4 contender to me personally. They have had games where they have not really performed at their top of their at the top of their levels. I mean, you have games like against the Titans and the Bulldogs are only just about scraping wins there in matches where they should be dominating. So a win here tonight for the Sharks will be very much a good motivation boost for them. It obviously can secure the top 4 spot for the Sharks. It would be interesting. It would very much be interesting to see of the Sharks actually doing it. I mean, the conditions are probably... Actually, I'm just going to check. What are the conditions currently down in Sydney? Cronulla weather. I'd probably take a guess. It's probably shit. Or it's maybe starting to clear up. So currently at the moment in Cronulla, it is participation's 8%. So it's actually... there's not much rain. But obviously, with the amount of rain that much of New South Wales has copped in the last week, there is probably going to be very hard traction, a shit pitch, basically, to be completely honest. But yeah, so big opportunities, really. Here's either team. For the Melbourne Storm, again, going into last week's matches, the Melbourne Storm, obviously had a bit of a shocker against Manly, but also another thing that, it did almost turn into probably one of the greatest comebacks in NRL history. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough time really to do it. But and all that, Wild Nathan has appeared. Wild Nathan has very much appeared. Very much so. But, yeah, the Storm, obviously, they did have a really good, last 10 minutes. Basically, as soon as Jake Trbojevic came off the field, Manly were just in absolute tatters. So it kind of made me feel like, where was that in the actual first bit of the game? Because the first half was probably the worst I'd seen Melbourne play in their existence. So, I mean, obviously, not Pappenhausen, Munster very much is a key facet for Melbourne, obviously. Again, he's not going to be playing because of Origin, as he has to play on Wednesday for Queensland to try to win. Just need to check some things quickly. But yeah. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. This whole level of that Storm game. I mean, I was just watching that, and it's like the fact that they were running away with it was actually pretty ridiculous. It was beautiful, Melbourne's performance last Thursday. In the last 10 minutes, it really was. Like, it was actually pretty scary of how open that really got. Yeah, we can just keep that. I was just checking to see of some certain stats. So still waiting now, guys. About 10. I shouldn't start these streams at 7:30. I really should do them like relatively like near like maybe 7:40 because that would only give me like 10 minutes to chew out time. But now you got like 10 minutes, 20 minutes to chew out time, which is just no, but what I can do actually is I can actually go into the schedule for tonight, for this week, in terms of streaming. So we got tonight's game, where you got the Cronulla Sharks up against the Melbourne Storm. Tomorrow night we will be doing the Newcastle Knights and South Sydney Rabbitohs game. In pretty much the night's next two games are pretty much going to decide if we are going to make the finals or not. I mean, it is still very out of reach for the Knights at the moment, but if they can get a win against South, that'd be a very good win. Then they would have to play Manly down at Brookvale. So then on Saturday I'm officially dubbing it Union Saturday, as we've got two Union matches we are doing. At about 9:30 in the morning, we're doing Samoa versus Tonga in the Pacific Nations Cup, and at 7:55. We'll be doing the second test between Australia and England to see if the Wallabies can clinch the series over England. So, whole bunch of sort coming our way, and obviously on Wednesday is Game 3 of State of Origin. But one thing I definitely can actually bring up in terms of recent events, it was so cool watching Storm make them come back even though Melbourne still lost. It very much was NRL. It very much was a fantastic. It was a fantastic comeback. Like, I know obviously they still didn't win, but like the fact that they were down by like 24 and they made it within 6 is actually still to this day kind of mental to actually think of that. I'm just So yeah, but in terms of recent events, is we actually have some good news in terms of my in terms of the channel. I'm finally back in the partner program. It's taken about 4 or so years since. So basically, I was a part of the YouTube partner program from basically like 2015 to about 2018, but they got rid of it because they changed all the qualifications for it. You needed like 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours and stuff like that. But we finally have ticked over that just now, and we're back in it. So there's probably a few things you are seeing around on the channel that are very different from a couple of times. One thing is there's ads on the videos. So yes, I did sell out to big corporate. So can you stream Broncos and Dragons? I can't, unfortunately. I'm going to be working that whole Saturday, so unfortunately, I cannot do that game. I'd like to, but unfortunately, it is not possible for me. Like, I wish I was, but I mean, we're just out here. It's work, you know. It's just how it be sometimes, unfortunately. So what are we looking at the moment? So why do I keep covering my mouth and just clearing my teeth, mate? Just putting a pen in my mouth, innit? Just doing stuff like that. I've got proper British gums. So about 5 minutes away now from kickoff. So again, it's like we've now gone from 6 votes now in the poll to 10 votes. And again, it is still split down the middle, 50-50. No one really knows what's going to be happening into this game. It's just, I don't know. It's a very hard game. It's a very hard game to try to predict. It very much has so many. I mean, it's kind of been reflective on how the Sharks season has been, on how you don't know which Cronulla team is going to show up, and all that. Because it's like you don't know like what's actually going to be like occurring. What I don't know why I said that weird, but you know what I mean. It's just like the Sharks like had a good run of form, and then they went up to Brisbane, and Brisbane smacked them, and then I think it's like the Sharks, South Sydney, the Roosters, Parramatta are just some of the teams you just have no idea what team is actually going to rock up to actually play. I feel like that is kind of sort of reflective in terms of like the middle teams in the NRL. But yeah. Just I don't know. I don't know why I keep doing like this or like that. It's like, no, I'm not trying to kick a habit of smoking. I've never smoked. It's a bit weird, but yeah, just seeing if there's any like last minute changes to the Storm squad. I don't think there really would be. I don't think anything drastic would have occurred. But I'll tell you what though, for Melbourne to win this game, I definitely feel like Nick Meaney could have a blinder at 5'8". I mean, has he played 5'8" often? I don't think he really has, unless I haven't been paying that much of attention. But like obviously the Storm do very much miss not Nick Meaney. They do. I mean, Nick Meaney's a good player, but they very much need Munster as that 5'8". The Bulldogs have had the last few games. Yeah, they've gone okay. It's just they haven't been able to crack open. They haven't been able to crack open. The game against Cronulla, I mean, there was a lot of elements in that. Like the weather was horrid, so which pretty much is a very good divider. And obviously Cronulla were able to hold out in that. But we are 3 minutes away now from kickoff, so we're very close to be kicking off. Obviously, top 4 clash, 4th against 2nd. And it's a big match for Cronulla, obviously, to prove some people wrong. They're saying that they do deserve to be in that top 4 position. Because probably in saying of recent, in terms of form and all that, I'd probably say that Brisbane sort of deserve it over Cronulla at the moment. I know Brisbane have switched off over some matches. But then again, I think they played most of the good teams more frequently than Cronulla. So we also going. I want to see Storm 40-0 Sharks. Ugh. Honestly, with the way the weather has been, I don't think any team's going to be scoring 40 points at all. Up to that level, the weather. I mean, to be fair, South did it. The South scored 30 last Saturday against Para. You don't know. So getting it right down to the poll at the moment. Oh, we have a vote. It's now an odd number of votes, and it's currently the Melbourne Storm leading 55% to 45. So it's a 6-5 ratio, and we'll end it just about as when kickoff will occur for the match. So. I go, Ford F-150. It's even what the hell's that? Alamaris. Never heard of that car in my life. I want Broncos to beat Dragons? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the Dragons are a very interesting team to look at. Because, very much, I think they'll cling on to the finals. If they don't, I will rage. Damn. I don't know. That game would probably be the match of the round, to be completely honest. That Brisbane Dragons game. Because that could just be a game where either Brisbane just continue being a very solid. I mean, obviously, but then again, it's also how many Brisbane players are actually going to be playing because of Origin. So I don't know. That could be a good bit of a division for to bring the Dragons into that game. That's going to be very hard to pick. I think all the games are relatively hard to pick for this round because obviously the weather and you don't know which teams are actually going to go well. Hello, Milos. So we're very close now to kick off. We're about a minute or so away. They're still running ads at the moment. So still very much close. Okay, we're going to end the poll now and 14 votes have come in. And it is, again, flat down the middle. 50-50. Cronulla, so 7 votes to 7. The Sharks and Melbourne have tied it. So I think that's pretty much been a very good reflector of how this match has been. Oh, and the KO stream is starting to mess up. Oh, the stream's actually really starting to cock up at the moment. But, you can come up when you're behaved. I'm just trying to get the KO stream to work back up because it's starting to really... So we should be really now getting ready for kickoff. Yep, here we go. Yep, the NRL back. NRL. They're advertising Latrell Mitch. I really hate how they do this advertisement for the NRL. It's like, you've got a top 4 clash, but what do you play before in the hype up? Latrell Mitchell's comeback. Like, obviously, yes, it's good that he's coming. Oh, what are you, yes, father? Nothing, why?
He's doing nothing. Mostly just a boring night.
What do you want?
What are you doing?
What do you want? But anyways, so both teams now, it's just... So it looks like Andrew Fafita now has actually moved... He's moved now to the number 8, so pretty much they've just swapped positions over. So basically, Fafita's now in the number 8 and Royce Hunt's back at number 10, so... Anyway, now, out come the Melbourne Storm, who obviously almost pulled off one of the best comebacks in rugby league history last week against Manly, but here we go. Few players are out, but they hopefully would like to get a win in this match. But yeah, it's a fairly decent crowd actually, obviously with the weather that has been. I mean, I think the tickets have been really good for selling in terms of like obviously, because it's only like a 12,000 seater stadium, so it's pretty much relatively sold out, of course, with how good they've currently have been. Now come the Cronulla Sharks. Now, big game for them. Obviously, a bunch of players out because of COVID/Origin duty. So they just, no one really knows what's going to happen this game. So Ronaldo Mulatalo being one of the featured players, it's just, I just don't know what's going to happen in this game. It's really going to be even. The weather looks fine. So it looks like it stopped raining. So anyway, let's get into it. By the way it's looking, it looks like the Melbourne Storm will be receiving the ball first. So Cronulla will be kicking off. And Cronulla look like they'll be running screen left for this matchup. So here's the kickoff. Yep, Cronulla are kicking off. So here's the kickoff, and we are underway for the opening of round 17. That's going to be a side for Solomona taking the first hit up for the Storm, and to be brought down on the 15 for the first tackle. So now Chris Lewis gets brought down on the 20 for the second. It's interesting to see what it's kind of one-ups footy at the moment. I'm coining that term. That's a good bit of run there by Bromwich. Kenny Bromwich. He gets brought down on the 30 for the third tackle. Brandon Smith going straight from dummy half. Will get to the 40 for the fourth tackle. Storm good play ball. So Solomona gets brought down just shy of the Cronulla 40. And the ball's gone right through the legs. And it's a last tackle kick, and Lewis with the kick. And it's taken by Cronulla. As that is Sione Katoa, who will get brought down on the 20 for the first tackle for the Sharks. Fairly decent set there by Melbourne, to say the least. I mean, almost went bottled it as the roll through the legs went past the dummy half. But now, that's number 11, Britton Nakora, getting brought down just shy of the Sharks 40 for the third tackle. They'll shift it more to the middle. So Royce Hunt tries to get an offload. And that's going to be Cronulla ball. And it's still 4th tackle on the 40. Now here comes the run. It's the number 17 of Andrew Fafita getting his start. Now shifting out to the middle for the last tackle. And there's the kick by Matt Moylan. As it's taken by Pappenhausen. And Pappenhausen will make it to the 20 for the first tackle. They're like a little bit of a bobble then, but probably isn't. And now onto the 25 for the second tackle. So, again, 2 minutes have gone into this game. It's been a little bit fairly even. I mean, probably the sort of half side you probably would expect in a match like this. So, Sofa Solomona now still going. He gets brought down just on halfway for the 4th tackle. Now the Storm will shift it out to the left-hand side. Olam with the ball. He breaks past one and he'll get brought down on 35 metres away from the try line. And this will be the last tackle now for the Storm. And Jerome Hughes with the kick. It's a high kick and it's taken by Will Kennedy, who will spread it out to Mulatalo. And now it goes out to the wing, as that is number 4, that is Connor Tracy, who will get brought down on the 25 for the first tackle. So now Mulatalo now getting through another run. He gets all the way to the 40 for the second tackle. This is a good start of the set by Cronulla. Now Cronulla still inside of their own half there as the Storm defence struggles to come back, as we've got a bit of a situation as Grant Anderson is with the trainer. And now Cronulla now going to the right-hand side. That's Nakora with the ball. And he'll get held up on the Melbourne 40. They'll shift it out to the middle. Trying to go through the guts as that's Royce Hunt. We'll get brought down 35 metres away from the try line, and that will be the last tackle for Cronulla. And there's the kick up in the air by Trindle. There's a lot of Sharks chases for Pappenhausen, but Pappenhausen takes it well. It'll be brought down inside the 10 for the first tackle. So a very good set there by Cronulla, and it's starting to put Melbourne on the back foot a little bit. Hopefully Grant Anderson is okay. Now they're shipping him off to the right-hand side as that is Grant Anderson now on the ball. As he gets to only the 15 for the third tackle. So this is a very good defensive set so far. Okay, independent doctor. Grant Anderson's forced off the field. Only 4 minutes gone into this game. A little bit of a head clash there with Mulatalo, and Anderson did not win that, so he has to go off to the bench. I mean, it really didn't protect much. I mean, because he got into another tackle. So there we go. So it's going to remain as the third tackle for the Storm. But there we go. Grant Anderson's now off the park. So be interesting to see who comes on for this situation. So on the 25 now, it's going to be number 14. It's Tyron Wishart will be coming on now for the Melbourne Storm. That was the 4th tackle, and the Storm, Sofa Solomona, will get brought down on the 30, and that will be the last tackle. A very strong defensive set by Cronulla. And it gives it off to Jerome Hughes, and Jerome Hughes with the kick. It's actually a very decent kick, picked up on the 15 by Kennedy. And Kennedy will get brought down on the 30 for the first tackle for the Cronulla Sharks. Sharks are trying to force it down into the middle of the field, as that is Jesse Ramian getting brought down just shy of halfway now. Now Sione Katoa now right on halfway for the third tackle. So currently at the moment the field possession is in favour of the Sharks at the moment, as that is Fafita. Feeds it off to the left, and the passing's tried to go quickly, but it's gone all the way back 10 metres. And Mulatalo will get brought down pretty much, get dragged pretty much at the same time, right near the 45 for the 4th tackle. So, bit of a wasted opportunity there as Fafita again gets brought down just inside of the Storm half. So, 45 metres out, last tackle for the Sharks. And there's the kick from Moylan. And it'll be taken by Pappenhausen on the 20. And it'll get instantly met up on the 20. So there's a bit of a charge there. So Wishart is pretty much sliding into the number 5 spot. So the Storm again, only 3rd tackle, and they're only just about getting to the 25. It's just very defensively solid set by Cronulla. It's 4th tackle now, the Storm now, but they've got numbers on the right-hand side here, as that is Seve, and he'll get to halfway. So just like that, I mean, they get a good run there. So halfway, last tackle for the Storm. And Hughes with the torp. It'll take a bounce on the 25, but it will be bounced. Oh, it's a knock-on by Cronulla. Jesse Ramian tries to pick it up from the bounce on the top, and it's gone forward. So it's an... And now it's a penalty to Cronulla. What? Why is it a knock-on? I mean, I know there's a bunch of Storm... I mean, to be fair, there was about like half the Storm players were offside in that, but... And they did make the tackle... Okay, so it's a penalty to Cronulla now for the offside by Justin Olam, so there we go. There's the kick and the touch. So there's the first penalty of the game, right on the Sharks 40. So a whole set now coming in for the Cronulla Sharks. As Royce Hunt now gets on the run, and he'll take the first hit up. But I mean, that was a good torpedo kick by Jerome Hughes. They definitely need to keep doing those to because that could have set up a brilliant chance there for the Storm to get first points. Now Fafita now with the ball. He gets brought down 35 metres away from the try line for the 3rd tackle. Sharks are attacking quickly now. Moylan now gets brought down on the 20 for the 4th tackle. Now they're trying to shift it off to the middle. They're giving it off to the right-hand side here. They've got numbers at speed. Ramian to Katoa, who passes it back in field, and it's picked up by Melbourne. So a huge chance there for the Cronulla Sharks, but eventually does go belling. So the Storm do hang on. But I definitely say at the moment, it is Cronulla that have the upper hand in this matchup. 2nd tackle on Olam, and it's still on the 10, and now that is Iramia who will get to the 20 for the 3rd tackle. It's now Brandon Smith trying to go himself, and he instantly gets brought down on the 25 for the 4th tackle. It's just very good defense currently being shown by the Sharks, but as Nick Meaney with a good run gets to just short of halfway for the last tackle. Now shift it off to Jerome Hughes. He goes with a big kick. It'll be going right into the throat of Mulatalo, as he'll get wrapped up on the 25 for the 1st tackle. Now the Sharks at the moment haven't been going very well, but in terms of trying to split the gaps and all that, as we're about 8.5 gone. Fafita now, he's getting a lot of the ball, but now the Sharks haven't gone anywhere. They've only got about 10 metres in this set in terms of advancement, but now they're trying to feint down the ring as Trindle gets a dummy, but it'll get brought down just shy of halfway for the 4th tackle. Now the Sharks goes down the throat, and that is Finucane. He gets brought down 40 metres away from the try line, and this will be the last tackle. And there's the high kick by Cronulla. And it's batted backwards. I think that might be a knock-on, actually. But now it's a penalty to Melbourne, pretty much for the exact same thing that Cronulla got a penalty for, offside off the kick. So it's a bit of a good chance for field possession now for the Storm, which they haven't really actually entered. I think they've only entered the Sharks half about once, I think, so far throughout the this first half. So here comes the kick and the touch by Jerome Hughes, and it'll be going in on at the 40, still inside of the Storm half. So a chance here for the Storm to get some good field position. So that's number 12, that is Kenny Bromwich. She gets brought down 5 short of halfway for the 1st tackle. But again, the Sharks' defense has actually been going very solidly at the moment. That looked forward. That was forward. Yeah, but it's going to be called, so it's another mistake there by Melbourne. There was a forward pass on halfway, so it's going to be a changeover, and I think it's actually going to be a scrum feed now, I think, for the Sharks. That's the rule now, isn't it? It's a scrum, not a changeover. That's always been the rule. I don't know what I mean by that. Yep. That wasn't even trying to hide that was forward. So, okay, so scrum period on halfway now for the Sharks as they try to run to Mulatalo. Gets brought down on the Storm 40 for the first tackle. And I believe that is number 9. That's Blake Brayley, who will get brought down on the 30. 30 metres out now. Second tackle is for Feeder. Tries to run himself. He'll get brought down 25 away for the third tackle. Now Moylan feeds it off to Royce Hunt. That's a good flat pass there. Fourth tackle, 10 out now for the Sharks. They'll go to the right. Moylan tries to pass out to 2-on-1, and Jesse Ramian goes over. And he gets the try, and I just realised it is try to lie. So there we go. That's the first try of the match. Good passing out to the wing. Forced to 2-on-1, and Ramian with the dummy. And he goes over, and that is 4-0 to the Cronulla Sharks. With the current form of momentum, I mean, it definitely felt like the Sharks were the first team to score, but there we go. Good pass out to Royce Hunt. Feeds it off to Katoa, and Ramian goes over. 4-0 to Cronulla. Iramia brought way too quickly to try to get the tackle on Royce Hunt. And Jesse Ramian, the former Newcastle Knights player, gets a try. So 12.5 gone. It is 4-0 with a kick to come. Kick should be in somewhat decent position. His 30th try, Ramian. Fair play to him. So again, Moylan really setting that up. Gets the flat pass. But then again, Royce Hunt with a really quick pass out to Ramian. Actually, to be fair, did sell at Olin because usually 9 times out of 10 they do go down to the winger. But Ramian getting the try there. So pretty much now, we're just waiting now for the kick. So here's the, who is actually doing the kicking? I think it's actually Trindle who's doing the kicking. Yep, so in his career he's 40 out of 50, so an 80% kick record. So this to make it 6 points to 0. That is not a great kick. So there we go. We remain 4-0 as we're 13 minutes gone into this matchup. I mean, it's kind of like he toe poked that kick, to be completely honest. I wonder how much Jesse Ramian was actually paying to get the first try. Probably paying a little bit, you know? I mean, not really. I mean, he's a centre. So now the Storm will be kicking off here, and they definitely need to make some changes because this Cronulla team is definitely holding them down at the moment. Here comes the first hit up. It's for Feeder. Okay, so get brought down on the 15 for the first tackle. Now, second tackle now on the 20 is Grant Anderson. Yep, he's on the paddle bike, so I believe he might be coming back into this game. But now it's a bit of a dodgy pass there to Jesse Ramian. And he'll get brought down on the 35 for the third tackle. So the Sharks now trying to force it through to the middle. And it's going to be a penalty to Cronulla. And this is a thing that was very detrimental against the Storm last week. They were giving away too many set restarts and penalties and also causing way too many mistakes, which ended up them being down by 30, conceding 36 points. Obviously, they did come back, but you know what I mean. They got into that position in the first place. So 40 metres out, a full set of 6. A good chance now for Cronulla to potentially extend their lead as first tackle now 30 metres out. That is Royce Hunt. They'll shift it off to the left-hand side now. The Sharks, it's Andrew Fafita with the ball. And he will get brought down on the 20-metre line for the second tackle. Now down to the right. Oh, it's a good step here through the middle. And just like that, Cronulla were over again. And it's Blake Brayley, the number 9, the hooker. Obviously, in the day later of his brother coming, before his brother returns to rugby league. And Blake Brayley right under the black dot. It's going to be 10-0 after this. But wow, it's just very good play of the ball. It's just the Storm are just looking really vacant. And he does the gritty. Because I know about that because I am hip. So yes, there is Try July, which wouldn't be surprising if the NRL has not mentioned that at all. Cut down the line and Blake Brayley just right near the black dot, and he hits him with the gritty. So good on him. But there we go, just already 8-0 already. This is it's not looking good now for the Storm. They just gave away like a silly penalty, and then just like that, split for the game. Moreland didn't even really have to do much. He just took one step and he was through the line. Obviously, saw Blake Brayley was there and cut straight through. It's just very, very good play there by Cronulla. So here's the conversion attempt now by Trindle. This to make it a 10-0 lead as he slots it right over. So almost actually 16 minutes now gone into this game. It is now 10-0 to the Cronulla Sharks. And honestly, by the way this Storm team has been going, it might get a bit worse, to be completely honest. It's just hasn't been looking good at all. Just the Storm just give away like either a penalty or a set restart. It just gives the Sharks ample momentum, which the Sharks have pretty much had for the majority of nearly this whole game. He's had this momentum of shuffling over the Storm. There's the charge there for the first tackle as Royce Hunt gets dragged back all the way back to the 10. That's going to be a penalty, surely. He was caught held back at the 15. He's gone all the way to the 5. And big tackle there by Olamon Fafita. It looks like now the Storm defense has finally woken up. As that is Nakora now. He gets brought down at the 20 for the third tackle. Something needed to happen to get this Storm team riled up. And a tackle like that very much will be doing that likes as Raymond and Olam is dragging people back. He's making no fucking taking fucking no prisoners. And now there's Fanuka now with the ball as he gets brought down in the 30. So a very good defensive set there from the Storm. And by God, they needed that. So last tackle now for the Sharks. And they'll take the kick and it'll be picked up on the 30 by Pappenhausen. And Pappenhausen will get... Oh, but he'll get taken back as well. He gets dragged all the way back to the 30. Exactly where he picked it up for the first tackle. So this game has just all of a sudden kicked up a notch in terms of intensity from both teams' defensive sets. And it's going to be a penalty to Melbourne. It was an offside. So big chance here for Melbourne. Penalty right on halfway. So if they're able to kick it into the Cronulla's half, which is a territory they haven't really gone into this game. So probably kick it into about 30 meters out. So a big chance here for the Storm to get their first try in this match. So that's Kenny Bromwich. He'll get brought down 30 meters away from the try line from the first tackle. And now that's a Sava Solomona who will get brought down on the 20 for the second tackle. Storm need to try to attack a wing here. And that is a good run there. Jesse Bromwich 10 meters out. Third tackle for the Storm. Smith going to the right side. Solomona trying to go himself. He's now 5 meters short of the line. Fourth tackle. And it's a set restart now for Melbourne. So a huge chance here. Jerome Hughes trying to go himself, but he'll get wrapped up for the first tackle. 5 meters short of the line now. Now Jesse Bromwich gives it off to Meaney. Now to Kenny Bromwich. And Bromwich will get brought down 5 meters short of the line for the second tackle. Smith. With a flat out pass to Jesse Bromwich. He's about a meter short of the line. And this will be the third tackle now for Melbourne. Melbourne now shifting it off to the right. And now Asofa Solomona gets brought down on the 10 for the fourth tackle. This is good defence so far by Cronulla. Smith trying to go himself from dummy half. And he'll get wrapped up 5 short of the line. Last tackle now. They'll go to the short right-hand side. Fake. Grab a kick. And we don't know where the ball is, as the camera angles kind of fucked us. So it looks like, I think it's a knock-on by a Cronulla player. So it's a scrum feed 10 metres out, I believe. So it's a grubber kick there by Jerome Hughes. Yep. I think that was knocked back personally, but they're ruling it as a knock-on by Mulatalo, so it should be a... So it's going to be a scrum feed 10 metres out now for the Melbourne Storm, which is something they very much need. So a huge chance now for the Storm. So here we go. The Sharks able to hang on there. But in comes another set from Melbourne. Going down to the left-hand side now. Pappenhausen with the ball. And he'll get wrapped up on the 10-metre line. And it's a set restart as well. That's Jesse Ramian. Iramia now. That's a high shot. That's a penalty. And Cronulla need to be careful, because they've given away 2 set restarts and now a penalty. You got to feel like another one of these, and there could be a potential that that Cronulla could get someone in the bin here. So they have to be really cautious. So 10 metres out now. Another set of 6 for the Storm. So Josh King now gets the first tackle. He's brought down on the 10-metre line for the first tackle. Now the Storm will shift it off to the right, as that's Jesse Bromwich. He was brought down 5 metres short for the second tackle. And it's another set restart for Melbourne. And Melbourne trying to break through the line, as that's Chris Lewis, who's about 2 metres short of the line for the first tackle. And now Jerome Hughes with the ball to Pappenhausen. Gets it back to Asofa Solomona, who flick passes it to Nick Meaney. And will get brought down inside the 10-metre line for the second tackle. Smith goes for King. King with a flick pass back. Gives it off to Kenny Bromwich. And Bromwich will get brought down on the 10-metre line for the third tackle. So Smith now lays it off to Jerome Hughes. And Jerome Hughes will be brought down 5 metres short of the line for the fourth tackle. Now Smith tries to get off to Lewis. Gets a flick pass off. But it's another great tackle there by Cronulla now. Last tackle 5 metres away from the try line. Smith gives it off to Hughes. Hughes with a kick over the top. There's a lot of players going. It's batted backwards. And that's knocked back by Melbourne, but it's going to be a changeover. Knock on against Melbourne, but after all of those sets and chances, Cronulla hang on. And that is a huge win there for the Cronulla Sharks. So on the 10-9 for the changeover. So this should be a 0 tackle, shouldn't it? Because it was a knock on. No, it's the first because it was on the last tackle. All right. So there we go. Aiden Tolman now with the ball. He's come on the field for the Sharks. Now it's number 15. That's Cameron McInnes. He gets brought down to the 25 for the third tackle. Now Finucane gets brought down on the 35 for the fourth tackle. It's just the fact that Cronulla were able to repel all of those attacks is really impressive. So 40 on the 40 now. Last tackle for Cronulla. Shifts it off to Trindle. And it's a bit of a high kick, and it's taken by Pappenhausen on the 20 as he feeds it to Green Anderson, as he'll get brought down on the 25 for the first tackle for this match. Now here comes a run. He gets to the 35 now for the Sharks. The second tackle as Cameron McInnes has got a nasty cut on his left eyebrow, spouting blood. So they might have to definitely have to take him off to get to the blood bin. So third tackle just shy of halfway now. The Storm as they go for another run through the middle as Jesse Bromwich, fourth tackle, 45 out. That's another good run there by the Storm now. 35 out, last tackle. Hughes now with the kick. It's another high kick, and Mulatalo takes and puts his foot into the touch zone, so it's going to be a 20-minute restart and a 7-tackle set now for Cronulla. And now Mulatalo will get to the 30 for the 0 tackle. Now Ramian with the ball, as he'll get brought down just shy of the 40 for the first tackle. And it's now a penalty to Cronulla. Melbourne are just all over the place at the moment. You got to think though, it's like, Munster definitely is like a bit of a les, but so it's another penalty now for Cronulla, and honestly, by the way things are going and how the last try did play out, Cronulla probably could have another try on their hands. And there's the kick in the touch, and the ball will be placed 35 away from the try line, and a full set now for the Sharks, and a chance to continue their lead as Tolman takes the first hit up, and it'll be brought down 30 metres out from the first tackle. Sharks now pass down the middle to Nakora. Brilliant splitting line break. Now 15 away from the try line now for the second tackle. Now the Sharks, now it's McInnes. Now 5 metres short of the line for the third tackle. And now the Sharks are set restart anyway, so going down to the right-hand side, Ramian, and he's got a double! Jesse Ramian gets his second try of the game. Wait, and now they're reviewing it. What? Okay, they're going to check to see if Jesse Ramian has lost the ball. He looks fairly confident. Does Jesse Ramian hold on to the ball here? Oh, he's lost it. Nope, so it's no try to knock on by Jesse Ramian, who loses possession of the ball just before he grounds it. But then again, that's a massive break there for Melbourne. But the thing is, though, in regular time, that's a try. That looks like a try. But anyways, there's a knock on, so it's going to be a 20. I think it's a 20-minute restart now for Melbourne. So 7 tackles. So now that is Toi Kamika on the 30 for the 0, and now that's Josh King, who gets just shy of the 40 for the first tackle. The Storm need to score a try, and Olam. Oh, that's just a big run there by the Papua New Guinean. That was just absolutely brilliant run there. 45 away from the try line now for the first tackle. And now it's Pappenhausen, 35 out from the try line for the second tackle. Storm will now go to the right-hand side, as it's Jesse Bromwich, who'll get brought down 25 short for the third tackle. So 13 and a half to go remaining in this first half. Now Hughes feeds it off to Chris Lewis, who will get brought it down 10 metres away from the try line for the fourth tackle. Now Hughes, they go for a grubber kick, but it's taken by Trindle, and Trindle will get brought down inside the 10 for the first tackle. It's just any chance the Storm get, it's the Cronulla are just there to stop it. Now Mulatalo inside the 10 for the second tackle. And now that is Connor Tracy now. He gets to the 20 for the third tackle. Honestly, if Cronulla... Oh, it's a knock-on by Cronulla. Ramian has lost the ball 20 metres out. Now the Storm have it. 0 tackle, 20 metres out. A huge chance now for Melbourne to get a try. So now the Storm now. Josh King getting held up just shy of the 10 now for the first tackle. Now Smith trying to go himself. He'll get held up 5 metres short of the line for the second tackle. It's a very... And Smith slow to get up to his feet. He goes out to the right-hand side. Hughes trying to step. He gets the step in, but he can't get past all of them. Second tackle now for the Storm. They'll shift it. Oh, it's a feint going to the left. Is dummy now. Pappenhausen with the ball. Long pass out to Aramea. Aramea trying to bust through, but he's 5 metres short of the line for the third tackle. Now Pappenhausen. Now to Meany. And Meany will get brought down on the inside of the 10 for the fourth tackle. Last tackle, sorry. Last tackle now for Melbourne. They'll go to the right. Hughes to Sevi. Gets a flick pass off. It went backwards. Still the last tackle. It's another grubber kick. Pappenhausen trying to go for it. And it's picked up by Trindle again, who has disposed another grubber by Melbourne. What a defensive effort by Cronulla, and it's now a penalty to the Cronulla as well. Just absolute brilliance there by the Sharks to keep the Storm out. This has been a fantastic defensive half by Cronulla. I mean, especially by Braden Trindle. As Bellamy wouldn't be happy. So on the 30 is is where it went out for the penalty. So the Sharks now. Finucane gets an offload off to Tolman. So still on the first tackle, and he finally does get brought down for the first tackle on the 35 inside of the Sharks half. Now Wade Graham now gets to the 40 for the second tackle. They'll go to the left-hand side now. As Connor Tracy now getting some offloads, some good footy. McInnes now with the ball. And he will get brought down on the Melbourne 40 for the third tackle. This has just been brilliant play by Cronulla. Moylan goes to the right-hand side again. Brilliant play off Ramian. Goes through the hole and he gets brought down on the 20 for the fourth tackle. And our kick over the top, and that's just stupid. No, it isn't actually. Because the kick over the top, it looked like it went too deep, but Iramia picks it up and runs into touch. So it's a goal line dropout now to Melbourne. I thought it was a bit of a silly kick. It almost went over, but then again, there was a lot of pressure. But Iramia pretty much had to go into touch there. So he runs into touch, so it's going to be a goal line dropout now for the Storm as Oldham has got the trainer around him. And here's the goal line dropout by Pappenhausen. Almost goes to full 50. And Tolman takes the first hit up as he gets brought down on the 30 for the first tackle. Now McInnes gives it off to Finucane. And he'll get brought down 20 metres short of the line for the second tackle. Now they'll go to the left-hand side. Long ball out there to Mulatalo. And Mulatalo will get brought down on the 15 for the third tackle. So Tolman now takes the run. He's inside of the 10 now for the fourth tackle. They'll go to the short side. It's a good bit of play here. Brayley tries to get a pass off. He does to Moylan. It's batted to Trindle, and Trindle's lost it. They've gone too quick with the offload play, and the Storm have pretty much dodged a bullet there because the Sharks were looking very close to scoring. So on the 20 will be a scrum feed for the Melbourne Storm. So completion rate's only been 76% by Cronulla. It's been a 94% completion rate by Melbourne, which is a lot better than what they were in the first half last week, but it's just a bit confusing there. So on the 20 for the first tackle for the Storm. As that is Alec McDonald. He gets to the 30 for the second tackle. And it's a penalty to Melbourne. If Melbourne can get a try and keep it like a 4-point lead going into the half, I think it's a positive result for them. So here's the kick into touch by Jerome Hughes. And it's gone deep. It hasn't even gone out. He's gone trying to go as deep as possible, but it's taken on the 20 by Cronulla. It's just, the mistakes just